Hello everyone, welcome back to the full stack web development course where you will be learning about latest technologies like React.js, Node.js, Express.js, MongoDB, Redux, Mongoose.js as well as Axios, more and more. So this is I think fifth lecture of this series or course. In this fifth lecture, we will be seeing about CSS properties like transform, transition, and animations in CSS. So, in the previous lectures, we have went through few HTML tags as well as a lot of CSS. So, in this course, I haven't covered a lot about HTML because we are not gonna use pure HTML in our course. We are just going to use JSX in React.js. So, we will learn about a separate JSX in React.js tutorials. So, we will be just diving into today. First, start with transform in CSS. So we have almost used every pages in the browser in the navbar like a contact page as well as the settings page. So we have demonstrated two things here, the position as well as the background. So I can also provide the positions here above. So let me just clean up the code once. Like let's just enter into the CSS and let me just uncomment these things and let me just another value for this as a box container 1. So now let me just go into this and give another value for these things like so I'm just uncomment these things. Now I'm just going to uncomment this also and we just gonna have this, paste it down here with the box container name as 1. So now we will be just having these things here as well as this thing here. So let me just change these values here and that's it. So this is the thing what I have explained for the backgrounds. And these rectangles I have used to explain all about position. So now we will just close these things and I will use the about page to demonstrate transform. So let me just open that about HTML page and I'm just going to link the style sheet as style.css. So inside this, let me just remove this and I'm just going to create a div tag with a class name called, I'm just going to give a box 1 like class name. Let me just copy this. So I think I can just leave it as box. So let me just now go to this style.css. Let me just close this. So here I'm here now. So now I'm just going to give a height as 100 px as well as width as, sorry, here I have a typo. Just give a width as 100 px and a background color as a nice color as green. So green yellow we will give. Yeah, this is good. Now our box is here. Now what I'm just gonna do, I'm just gonna make it in the center of this page without using position absolute. So in the previous lecture we have used position absolute to navigate the box all around the web page, but we're not gonna use that, but instead we will be using something like a transform. So transform transform as many values. You can see what VS Code as recommended as matrix 3D, perspective, rotate 3D, rotate X, Y, Z, scale 3D, XYZ, as well as skew, XY, translate 3D, XYZ, as well as gap. So we have a lot of values for transform, but what I'm gonna cover is translate and rest of these stuffs, as well as scale and rest of these stuffs, and as well as rotate and rest of these stuffs. So your homework is to prepare matrix as well as skew. Learn these two things. So let me just give a value for transform as translates, and the first value is nothing but in the x-axis, and the next value is all about the y-axis. Now, so you can see is now here, but we have provided 50%, which means 50% size of this box, this particular, if this is the total length of this box, so in that 50% is this thing. That's what it is all about. So this first value is about this x-axis, and this second value is all about the y-axis. So here let me just give 1000 px, sorry, 1000 px, as well as here I'm just going to give 1000 px. Here let's just reduce it to 500 px. So here I think it's 5000 px, it's sorry 1000 px is large. So I have just translated the box to almost the center of this page by just giving 500 px as x and y. So you can give any value like 100 px, so you can navigate any part of this page using this box. So that's what transform translate is used for. So along with this we have another value called rotate of the value is going to be of 40 degree. So you can see we have just rotated to 40 degrees. So or else I can just also rotate to 90 degrees. So if a box turns 90 degrees, it will look like the same. So I can even put it to 120 degrees. So now like this we can play with this rotate, as well as we can give a value for skew as so skew contains the first value as a x-axis value and the second value as a y-axis value. So now it just skews the values in the x and y axis like this. If it is the x-axis and if this is the x-axis as well as this is the y-axis, then in the x-axis I'm just going 20 degrees, and in the y-axis I'm just going 10 degrees. That's what this position looks like this. So if it just remove this rotate, it's just gonna look a lot more better. So you can see now, if you consider this as a x and a y axis, we are now 20 degrees from x as well as 10 degrees from the y. So that's what this is about. Let me just have it again, the rotate to, so you guys can have a reference on rotate also. And the next thing is all about scale. So scale is nothing but making the size of this thing a lot bigger. So this thing has a scale value of 1. If I just give a value of 1.5, so it becomes 1.5 times the last whole thing. So if you just give a 5, it just gonna become a huge 5 times the original size. That's what scale is about. So let's just leave it as a 1.5. So that is all about transform. So these transform x, transform y, or transform rotate x, rotate y, skew x, skew y, these things are nothing but subdivision of this. So you can give translate x for this value separately and y as separately. So in translate I have just provided both the values in same uh, function. That's what it is about. So the next thing is transition. So to understand transition, we will go to the home page here. So you can see while I hover on this link to Facebook, the background colors changes suddenly, which is kind of awkward for me. I want the color to be transited to this yellow in a slower manner. It should merge with both of the color, and it should the blue color should disappear slowly and the yellow color should appear slowly. So to do that we can use the transition property. So let me just find this button somewhere. So here is that we should not use it in the hover or active. We should use it in the parent selector. Like we can just give a value as transition, and in the transition we can give all as well as 2 seconds. Let me just save it. Now if I just hover, so nothing happens. So why nothing is happening here? So let me just remove this all thing. Let me just refresh. So why? So this became a smaller thing because I have changed something here in the code. That's why it became smaller. So now you can see the yellow appears really slow because the transition duration time what I have given is 2 seconds, which so while I hover on blue, it takes almost 2 seconds to give the yellow color. That's why it is like that. So usually I used to give zero point 0.3 seconds, which is a nice duration. So you can see it appears slowly, not suddenly. You can see while I click this, it appears slowly. So, and we got another value. If I just change color of like what I can give black color, so you can see now the color also changes slowly. You can see the color changes from blue to black, blue to black, like so. You can see it changes nicely while I click this. So that is all about transition. We do have several other properties in transition. I think they are not that much needed for a course, so you can study on your own because those properties are really simpler than this. So now the next thing we are going to look into is all about settings. Sorry, we're just going to look about home, about. So we are on the about now. So what is actually animation? Animation is like our creativeness reflected in the browser. because we can animate anything in the browser what we want. So using CSS we can animate some, we can do some basic animation things. So let me just uncomment this transform as of now. So now it is right on the top. What I'm gonna give is that wait, hold on. So yeah, now what we are gonna give is that we are gonna do a basic animation with this red box. We're gonna move this from here to here and change the color, from here to here and change the color, and here to here change the background color, and here to here change the background color. That's what we are gonna do. So for that I'm just going to give an animation name as change location, like so. And animation duration we're gonna just leave it as 4 seconds, so the animation going to takes place for 4 seconds. And an animation iteration count, animation iteration count as infinite. So we're gonna do this animation forever. So what we're gonna do, we have to declare animation with the name of change location. We're gonna use keyframes keyword. So to do that, add keyframes. You can see VS Code auto completes that. In the identify place I'm just gonna give a change dash location. So this is what we have used it here. So now you can write everything inside a to and a from, but also you can use this, but sorry, a from and a to. I have done this alternatively. Just close this. We can just do a to and a from, but while using from and to we can just go to two locations because it is nothing but two endpoints. So we can just use 15 percentages. So at 0th percentage the background color is gonna be red, on the left, sorry, at the 0th location we will just leave it as a same color as the green color. And then we are going to just give a left of 0 px and a top of 0 px. So in the 0th position it's going to just remain this in the same location. To give a left and top we're going to just give a position as a relative. So we're just going to give a 10% at the 10%, sorry, at the 25th percent. So after completing the 25th, sorry, 25% of the animation, we're going to just change the background color to red, as well as the location from left 0 to 200 px. And then the top is gonna be 0 px. So literally from here at the 25th percent we're gonna move here. So at 50% we're gonna, sorry, I went wrongly. So we're gonna give a background color of green, sorry, blue. I can just give a blue. And left of 200 px, sorry, 200 px, I think so. And top of 200 px. Oh, from here we want to just move to here, and at 100%, sorry, in the 75th percent, we're gonna be at the background color is gonna be pink, and the left is gonna be 0 px, and the top is gonna be 200 px. So we are gonna move from here to here. So now at the 100%, we are gonna move from change the background color to the default thing as yellow green, and left of 0% as well as the top of 0%, which is our default position. So let me just save this. I think something went wrong, that's why it is not appearing here. So what I think, this thing is not working, I think so, I believe. So now let me just change the value here also. So it's not working. So this is nothing but the animation duration. So now you can see our animation works fine. We are from green, we are moving here with red, from here blue, pink, slash green, red, blue, pink, green. So now this animation happens infinitely because we have provided the iteration count as infinite. If you don't want to be infinite, if you want it to be once, just declare it as once, then it will just happen for once, then it will just stop. That's it. So let me just leave this as infinite, like so. And we do have other delay animation properties like animation delay, which will give 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds only our animation will start, because we have provided a delay of 5 seconds. So there will be a 5-second delay between the animation start. So that's what animation delay is about. And there is also something called as an animation timing function, which I am not used to use that. But there's a nice value called ease in out. You can use that. It is nothing but the speed of this one transition from here to here, here to here, as well as here to here. So you can see here's a difference. From here it goes slow, it raises the speed, slow, speed. That is what ease in out means. So that is what animation timing function. So that's all guys for this lecture. We have covered about topics like transform, transition, and animation in CSS. So with this, our CSS tutorials ends. With the next lecture, I will meet you with JavaScript. So thank you.